You would think in that moment that I would realize, you know, you don't care that much about your boyfriend if you're still thinking about your ex. Hey guys, so for today I'm going to tell you a story. I know these past couple weeks I've been posting kind of out there videos with family and me doing that dare video, but we're gonna chill out this week. If this is uploaded near Christmas, Merry Christmas. If this is being uploaded near the New Year, Happy New Year. But yeah, let's just get right into it, I guess. I'm going to tell the story of my second breakup because it kind of ends funny. At the time it wasn't funny, but looking back it's kind of funny now. Just like a pre-warning, this isn't like a bash towards this guy whatsoever. I'm not saying we're friends, because we're definitely not, but I'm not telling this story just to say how awful he is. I'm just telling this because I think it's funny. My first breakup was awful. Not the actual breakup was awful, I just took it like really bad. And I was really quick to move on, or at least I thought I was moving on, but I really wasn't. It was more like a rebound. At the time I didn't look at it that way, so like, if you're watching this, I didn't date you because I'm like, oh, I need a rebound. That wasn't my thought. But looking back, it kind of was a rebound. When me and my first boyfriend broke up, really upset, cried in my ramen. How do I say this without like actually giving away like who this is about? I mean, like, I'm not gonna say anything like awful, so like I guess it doesn't matter, but there were a group of boys, the crew. And if you know who they are, then you know who they are. If you don't, you don't. I mean, the crew. That's all I can say. I kind of told a little bit of this story in a previous story time, so I'm just gonna reference it. Yes, I'm talking about the crew. The crew. If you haven't seen that video, it's in the description, or I'm gonna put a little, what are those called? I don't even remember. I can't think. I didn't give the full details of our breakup because I wanted to save it for its own story. So here we are. I started dating this guy not even a month after my first relationship. And at the time, I didn't see the problem with it. But looking back, it was a problem. I just thought I legitimately moved on to this guy. But I didn't. So this relationship lasts, I think, about 8 months. We went to 2 different schools. We worked at 2 different ski resorts. We had a lot in common. Like, there were a lot of things that, like, we hung out this entire summer that we started dating. And it was very easy for us to hang out because we just had so much in common. Like, we were very similar people. Fast forward to around Valentine's Day. He got into this really bad snowboard accident and it was awful. It's still, I still look back on it and it is awful. As somebody who was only 16, that scared me. Anyway, when I found out, I like freaked out. And he was using a walker because he literally couldn't walk. You know, every day after school, I would walk to his house to kind of like help take care of him and stuff. Like, I think I even brought him, I don't know if it was like cupcakes or cookies or whatever it was. I brought something over to his house. Like, my mom even came with me. Like, it was like a big thing. Then things took a turn. Now, we didn't have like this perfect relationship, but like it was kind of close. We didn't fight ever. I can't even think back to one fight in our relationship. Like, I can't. Or even like a disagreement. Like, we were literally like, we were like the same person. Like, we had no reason to fight. I feel like it was not normal that there was never a time that we disagreed. At the time, I didn't see that. That's why this breakup was such a surprise for me. Like I said, we both worked at 2 different ski resorts, and he was out of work for a while because of his injury. I remember getting home from school I would go on Facebook and I would like try to like talk to him and stuff. We didn't like text too much, and I went on Facebook to see if he was on, and like he hadn't been replying to any messages I was sending him, so I thought that was kind of weird. And I was kind of friends with one of his really good friends who was not a part of the crew, and I had messaged him and I asked him if he had heard from my boyfriend that day. And he was like, no, he's like, I was actually trying to get a hold of him and I couldn't get a hold of him either. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, but I did hear that he was going to the ski resort that he worked at to like visit everyone because he hadn't been there because he was out of work and whatnot. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I didn't know he was gonna go there and like visit like all of his friends and stuff. Like, okay. I didn't think anything of it. And I was just really tired that day, so I ended up taking a nap, but my nap ended up lasting like the entire night. Like I missed dinner. I remember I woke up, it was exactly midnight when I woke up. This was a Friday. I remember that because I had work the next day, and I usually worked on Saturday and Sunday. When I woke up at midnight, I immediately was just like awake, and I was like, oh man, like this is gonna suck for work tomorrow because I'm gonna be up until I have to get up for work, and then I'm gonna want to sleep, but I can't because I gotta go to work. Well, I ended up just getting up anyway. I went in the kitchen, I saw my dinner was like still in its plate, like everyone obviously ate without me. I don't know why nobody woke me up, honestly. I took my plate of dinner, I sat at the computer, and I just started going through my notifications. I realized I hadn't gotten a message from my boyfriend, and I thought that was weird. I'm like, well, I wonder why he didn't message me like after he saw everyone, or just let me know like, hey, this is what I've been doing. I thought it was kind of weird. So I messaged him because I saw he was on Facebook. I messaged him, I was like, hey, what have you been up to? And he said like, he told me everything that his friend had told me. Like he went to the ski resort, he saw all of his friends that he hasn't seen in a while, yada yada yada. I was like, oh, okay, like cool. I'm still talking to him, and I could just tell something's wrong. I'm like, I have to ask, like something's clearly wrong. So I say like, hey, like is everything okay? And his response was, I don't know, ... And I thought that was really weird because there was never a time that he like wasn't okay in our relationship. So immediately I'm like, oh my god, like is he okay? Like what happened? Like what's wrong? And he said he felt confused. And I was like what are you confused over? And he was like, I don't know if I'm happy in this relationship. And that right there was like a huge shock because we had never had any issues in our relationship. So I didn't see this coming. And immediately I start like panicking. I start having like flashbacks of like my first breakup. I don't take breakups very well. Immediately start freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, like I need to talk to somebody. And I can't talk to my best friend Megan because she was, I think she was at Girl Scout camp, and she didn't have, I guess they can't like use their phone or something, or didn't have service. I don't know what the deal was, but I did text her anyway, just in case, and I didn't get a response, but I was expecting that. So I immediately, this is where it starts to get funny. I immediately text Brittany, my sister, and I'm like, Brittany, like, I don't know what to do. I think then she calls me. So I pick up the phone and she's like, what do you mean like he's gonna break up with you? And I told her everything he said. He's confused. He doesn't know if he's happy in this relationship. And she was like, well, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I literally slept all day after, I slept all night after I went to school. So nothing was even happening. I don't know, and I don't know if anything previously happened either, because like I said, I can't think back to a time that something bad had happened. That's when I said to him, I was like I couldn't take it anymore. This was going on for a total of like maybe 10 to 15 minutes, but it was driving me insane. So I said to him, I was like, I need to know, like, are you breaking up with me or not? After I sent that text, Brittany was like, why don't you just break up with him if you know he's gonna break up with you? My exact words to that was, I said to Brittany, I'm afraid of going back to my first ex. You would think in that moment that I would realize, you know, you don't care that much about your boyfriend if you're still thinking about your ex. But in my head, I thought, oh my god, I don't want to break up with my boyfriend. I don't know who I was trying to fool. Who raised me to be like this? So anyway, I say those words to Brittany and she goes, oh no, You would never go back to him. I know you don't like him, yada yada yada. She obviously lied. I mean, she later on told me that she knew that I would probably go back to him. Before I could even make my decision on breaking up with him, he sent me a text and he said, you know, I feel like we're drifting apart. I feel like things aren't the same since summer ended. I think we should just break up. Obviously I was crying, but I was really more, not that I wasn't upset, because I definitely was, but I was more confused because, like I had previously said, I was at his house a lot because of his accident. And so when he said that he felt like we were drifting apart, I didn't know what that meant. Still to this day, I don't really know what he meant. I don't know if it was just like an excuse because he didn't want to tell me why he really wanted to break up with me. I don't know if that really was the truth. I ended up not being able to sleep, obviously. And the next morning, I guess Brittany had told my mom what happened, because the next morning when I was supposed to be getting up and getting ready for work, she came in my room, she told me that she knew what happened, and she said, why don't you just call out of work for the day and we'll just like go out shopping. My mom takes me to Best Buy. This is the first time that I have a job like ever, because I was 16, and so I had been saving my money and I had enough money to make a pretty big purchase. When we were at Best Buy, I decided to buy a laptop for the first time, and this was like a big deal because 1, I've never had my own computer. 2, never had enough money to afford something like a computer. 3, I had been wanting my own computer for years, literally 4 years. I was very excited to make this purchase, and you know, the second I bought that laptop, I was pretty over that breakup. I would say we both got over that breakup pretty quickly. And the reason I say that is because I later found out that, I don't know if this is the full reason why we broke up. I want to say this probably contributed, or maybe this isn't even true, but I later found out that there was a girl that he worked with, and I found out that he still liked her because she was like a crush he had before me. They never dated or anything as far as I knew, but I later found out that he liked her, and that was part of the reason we broke up. I don't know if that's true. I still to this day don't know if that is true. If that is the case, then clearly he didn't care that much about me either. Fast forward to a few months after our breakup, I still wanted to be friends because, like I said, we had a lot in common and we would have been better off friends. So I ended up contacting him and I explained myself. I'm like, listen, like, I'm sorry for like whatever I did, like for everything that I said after our breakup, because I'm sure I said something awful because I don't take breakups very well. And we ended up like mending this friendship, and I thought we were friends. Fast forward a month later of adding each other back on Facebook, because I had deleted him after we broke up. Obviously, I don't want to see my ex on Facebook after we break up. So we're friends on Facebook, and one of his friends, who I know and was friends with at one point in my life, the crew, he wrote something on my ex-boyfriend's wall and says something along the lines of, one of my insiders that I have with Megan, he posts this on his wall. And I thought that was kind of strange because I'm not friends with this guy anymore. We stopped being friends like back in like the beginning of me and my boyfriend's relationship for reasons. Well, you guys know. It's in my story time. If you haven't seen it, click the link in the description. But he writes one of our insiders, and I thought that was weird, so I'm literally sitting there watching this post, ready to see these replies. And I'm thinking that my ex-boyfriend is gonna stick up for me because we're friends, or at least I thought we were. And he joins in and they start mocking my family. He said, like, one of our insiders, he was like, I'm stupid, like, who am I? My ex-boyfriend, who I thought we were friends, says, oh, you're one of the Bachettis. And for those who don't know, that's my last name. So he's saying me or someone in my family. And this boy responds and says, no, I'm all of them. So the two of them are sitting here making fun of my entire family on Facebook for everyone to see. Thinking like, maybe I'm taking this the wrong way, maybe they're like clearly joking, but maybe I'm not taking it as a joke, I don't know. So I messaged my ex-boyfriend, who I thought we were friends, and I say like, hey, like, what the heck, like, I thought we were cool, like, what's up with this post between you and your friend? And he goes, oh, I didn't think you'd see that. And I'm like, we're friends on Facebook, why wouldn't I see that? And he goes, well, you didn't have to add me on Facebook. And that was the end of our friendship. So to this day, we are not friends. I don't plan on ever being friends, obviously. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If I could give you any advice about relationships, don't go looking for love. Let love find you. Because when you go looking, you might not end up what you need, and more or less end up with what you think you want. If you want me to do more story times about my exes or just story times in general, let me know in the comments. But yeah, I will see you guys next Monday? Next time? I don't know. We'll see. See ya.
I'm waiting here every day like Slumdog Millionaire, bigger than the Twilight love affair. I'll be here, girl, I swear.